All right, after yesterday's Zenless pull video, where Jason may or may not have had success, he had success, but how much? You might be surprised. There was one good pull in there. Go check that video out. Today, I'm pulling in Genshin again. This is the second time in quick succession because I did pull for Escoffier, who's on the screen here. And to be honest, even though that pull didn't go well, like most pulls from me in Genshin, it has rekindled my interest in the game a bit. I have a functional slash pretty damn good team. I've been waiting for Skirk for a long time. She showed up in the game, what, a year plus ago? And we've been sort of wondering when that was actually going to come to fruition. That time is here. Skirk also has some limitations on water and ice types in a team, so it could be that this is just replacing Ganyu. We're going to find out. But in either case, between that and finally building the Arlecchino that I pulled like 2 years ago and then stopped playing the game, I actually have two pretty strong teams now, and that's nice. You know, I can do like Memory of Chaos in a way that I couldn't before. So it's unfamiliar territory for me, but we're going to pull for Skirk anyways.
I have followed nothing of this, so I don't even know what Skirk does other than she's ice DPS and I think kind of broken, as what I hear.
I'll show her.
But okay.
5 pity. Let me just jot that down real quick. 5. That's a good number of pity to have. You know, that just flows nicely into the soft pity, assuming it works out. And we have 167 wishes. We did convert the ones for the new month already. We'll get more from the pulls. So, like, there's no danger of not succeeding here. Is it going to wipe me out? The trend in this game suggests yes, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm. You know, we're hoping for the average to you know, swing back the other direction.
It hasn't yet so far, so...
Well, that means it's due, okay? Oh, yeah. This is that new guy, right? He's a water shielder.
Yeah, we have a new 4-star on this as well, which is nice to get, I suppose. Doesn't hurt for sure. And yeah, I mean, I guess the pendulum has swung the other way in other games. In Genshin, it has never corrected. It's been 4 years, so... I kind of know what I'm in store for here. If I'm not, I'll be pleasantly surprised, but I've already kind of steeled myself against the possibility.
You're gonna see that special one that I got. You know,
the double S.
No, the one where Chris has failed hard pity, or he's failed pity so many times that it gives you a higher percentage.
Right. The 55-45.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, the 55-45, which is like just not enough to matter, but they're gonna do it anyway.
Let's see, 167. So this is 45 to 55.
Nope, still nothing.
I'm not even daring to expect it early. The hope is just that we get, you know, the 50.
Did you? Oh, yeah. So you didn't have an Neon-san, who I've also heard is pretty solid.
Oh, I'm missing all sorts of characters.
I mean, same at this point. I haven't logged in. Now I hear they've got weapon skins, but only if you have good teams good enough to do shit. And I'm like, okay, well, they're not making me want to join back on. You know,
65 to 75. We're hoping for here.
Okay. Beautiful. Come on.
Nope.
Okay. No, you do it now. For good luck. Okay.
And just dick fit in my mouth. I mean, I know what I'm supposed to do here. I don't really care about the 4 stars. I've never really cared about the 4 stars in this game. Those are only a couple that are super valuable. Bennett, Fischl, you know, a handful of others. But I'll play by the rules.
And 10 only.
It would not have shocked me in this game if it had not hit on a 10 pull, and then it would have been dead forever. I have several that have been 85 plus, so we'll see.
Yeah. 80.
Hello, I am Yume Mizuki
say, who is this?
Mizuki,
This is
a clinical psychologist.
not them. This is not who we
If
want.
something's troubling you, feel
Did
free
you
to
have
talk it out with me.
Yumi Mizuki?
I can banish even
No.
the darkest of nightmares from your
God.
mind without leaving a single
I've heard that they're
trace.
surprisingly good in some teams,
Oh.
but this is obviously
believe me?
not
Well
ideal.
then,
It is a
if
new
you have a
character
moment to
though, and a
spare,
new
why
5-star.
don't you
So
stop by
I
my
suppose
office?
there are worse outcomes here.
She was talking that entire time.
Oh, I'm
It's
so
almost
sorry.
too much now. It's like, I mean, it's cool that we have an intro, but I mean, look, this is not the worst outcome, but it is unsurprising and completely on form with this game, which I'm even trying to get back into, and it just keeps putting me at fucking arm's length. All right, well, presumably that means we have 5 pity, and we have 87 pulls, so...
Okay, here it
It's
is.
going to drain me for whatever the fuck as we go into the new region here soon, but fuck me, I guess.
Come on, you'll get it right here.
No.
Okay, you're not.
No. Genshin always has better ideas in that they want money.
Oh, man.
Genshin for a long time.
Oh,
there
look
it
at
is. Finally.
Look at there we go.
I am
Oh.
Skirk,
Oh,
disciple
okay.
of Sotology, the Foul.
I
You've
mean,
proven your
Okay,
strength
now we
in
need
your
another
longer
Skirk right
journey
here.
and earn the right to speak to me
2
as an
Skirks.
equal. Now,
I
let
want
me
3.
witness how your fate unfolds.
3 Skirks.
She had a nice normal length voice line. We'll go through one by one anyways, just to see. Because all you have to do is complain enough, and eventually things will go your way.
So, complain loudly in the casino.
I'm going to go check the math on this real quick. Which means you'll just be staring at the screen. Nobody else can see this, but I can. I'll tell you that this has never happened before in this game. That was what? 5, 15, 16.
I was going to say within 2 temples.
I lost my 50-50 on Dia, of all things, to Mona in 34. That is my only sub-70 pull at any point since we started recording these at the start of 2022.
Wild.
Only sub-70 is a 34, which is pretty good, to be clear. But I don't have, like, a 68, a 59. So that's why I'm so bitter, because even when I've lost more 50-50s than I've won. And even when whatever I hit, I usually end up hitting. I've hit more in the 80s than I have, like, sub-75. So...
I mean, technically, you got Skirk in 96, right, at this point?
Effectively.
But, yeah.
I lost an 80, so it's another 80. Dia was 80. I lost a 50-50 to Dia in 81. I lost a 50-50 to D-Luke in 80, and then won Navia in 80. I lost to Chi-Chi in 80 before I got a Scofier. So 80 is a really common number for this one. 16 is not. And of course, it's statistically more likely that way, but I'm just saying, like, it's been bad. So even losing the 50-50, at least this one's enough to give me some hope. I didn't have to drain everything.
I mean, is it even worth it to look at the weapon?
No.
I know it's bad in Genshin. Okay. I don't know if this is one of those situations where the weapon is so good that like, you'd be crazy to not try. Or...
The problem with the weapon is it is extremely specific to her because she does not use energy. She has 0 energy, and the weapon is basically based on that. And there's only really one other character who even has anything keying off of 0 energy, and she doesn't use this weapon. So it doesn't... It's specific to her. It's good for her, but I'm not ever pulling for a weapon in this game. Fuck this game. So anyways, Skirk. Cryo damage. You can do some different types of it. He has this certain subtlety thing that we'll see. It's a lot easier to see in motion than it is to figure out what's going on with the paragraphs of text on the screen at the moment. A special elemental burst trigger. When you get cryo...
Did it say be carefully?
What's that?
Sorry, did it? If you go back, what? Was there a typo? Go back. I just want to see. Oh no, be fully. Okay. Beautiful. I can't read. That's wonderful.
Okay.
That's much better.
I was like, what?
I just wanted to be sure that that's what was happening.
She unsurprisingly works with different ice reactions, but to a certain extent you really want those to be frozen primarily because of the team construction. And then she can switch modes, and then she has all of her attacks become cryo. And there's more rifts that she can summon and do more damage and extend the skill. And then she basically gets 2 different forms of her elemental boost. It's complicated. It's actually not that bad in motion, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay.
Come to an end. Even time itself.
You will notice that the trial has paired her with what is easily her best in slot, which is Escoffier, who I have. That's not super surprising, and just like what makes Escoffier better, Skirk also thrives in environments where there are a lot of water and ice characters. You can use her without. It's not quite as restrictive as a Escoffier, but those two together with a team like this makes a lot of sense. Unfortunately, there's a Barbara-shaped thing on the screen, but we can't win them all, can we?
Well, would that be where you want... So is this like you sub in, like, say, a Farina instead of a Xingqiu, and you put in that new guy instead of Barbara? Or is it just like Xingqiu or Yelan and Farina? And that's
Farina is basically the other, like, lock on this team, and I don't have her. Missed that window like 3 times.
She's a lock in like every team.
Pretty much.
That's not surprising, yeah.
But yeah, Yelan will work, Kokomi will work. Like, there's other options here. If anything, Kokomi's better here in some other senses, you know, like, we'll see. But
because the constant hydros keep freezing. That makes sense.
So here's our character. You'll notice that her elemental burst is like slightly different colored.
Yeah.
She just does massive amounts of damage. She's doing cryo. Her elemental burst is kind of draining at the moment. If I use it before it runs out, we can do stuff. He's changing forms because I beat his ass too quick, so I can't hurt him right now. It's fine. Get a Escoffier back up, reset our things here, trigger some reaction. Barbara's out. I wish she wasn't. You know, the usual stuff. And he thinks he's doing stuff. He's just talking a lot like he is known for doing. And look at this health. That's just gone.
Oh, yeah. Deleted.
You can see the void rifts that are out. They come out when certain reactions are triggered. The more of them that are out, the better she is. It's almost tough to explain because this is a pretty ideal team construction for her. Anything with Escoffier is. And it's obviously, just like a lot of these, set up to make her look super strong. She doesn't need the help. She is super strong. But you don't even almost have time to really see what's going on other than the invincible phase of the one asshole who won't shut the fuck up.
Gotcha.
But unsurprisingly, she's quite powerful. I have the characters to support her, except for Farina, but I'm still going to be just fine without her. And to be honest, I've been doing well with the team I showed off in the beginning, because I had built Ganyu and never really done much with her. And if I want a ranged option, that'll be nice. But Ganyu doesn't do great ice application. Her ult, sure, but her skill's kind of balls, and her regular attacks, yeah, you can charge, but you don't always have the luxury of charging against a lot of these higher-end enemies. So that might be where this version of the team just adds in Skirk, and it becomes the strongest thing I've got.
That makes sense.
And by the way, just for people who were curious, this is the B team now.
A much stronger B team.
Yes, it was really bad before, but I have built Fischl, and to be honest, I think she's a better fit for this than Raiden Shogun, who, it's weird to say this, but 3 years later has kind of fallen off. Like, doesn't really make it to most teams anymore. Kind of needs a buff, which is just incomprehensible if you said that to me in 2022.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Granted, I don't play a whole lot anymore, but that was a trend I was seeing anyway, and it is solely because Fischl does more electro application, and much like Kokomi or Xingqiu, when all of his things are going when shooting out at the... Sometimes that is literally all that matters for reactions, and because this game is literally reaction impact, that's all that matters. No one cares about anything else.
Yeah.
That's the meta.
So this is finally working. I just added in Bennett. I've barely gotten him to the point where he's quite ready yet, but he at least has a decent set. He's 90. He's got most of his talents up. So at least that's been giving me something to do. I'm working on finishing off a lot of these characters' talents. Navia is still a work in progress. Arlecchino's pretty much finished, and now I've got Skirk, who I did farm for artifacts in advance. I mean, I guess I could put her in here real quick. Why not? Put her in the squad. I can always go back to Ganyu, but we did just finally get to pull this after a couple weeks of waiting. So let's... I got to take her out first. Ah, fuck. Jesus. There we go.
Christ.
Okay, let's take a walk.
Yeah. So this might be what I'm using. And by the way, it is just satisfying freezing some of these fucking enemies that have been a pain in the ass. You know, it does feel nice as long as they're at least somewhat vulnerable to it. So anyways, that's the update. What has helped me quite a bit is not only having something to do, like working towards building some of these characters, but like I pulled some of these characters, but I was so disgruntled with the game post-Dia that I wasn't doing anything with them. I pulled Navia and never used her. Well, now I have both her and Arlecchino on a team that's thriving pretty well, and this team is ready to take on the strongest challenges because I have all the healing I need, plenty of freeze, tons of damage. So I'm not saying I'm fully back, but I'm at least logging back in every day, and that was not the case for about a year and 3 months.
Yeah. That's fair. That's
Navigating
good.
worlds
Like that
is a
was me
whole
when I
lot
got
easier with
Chaska.
a few
I
different
never
identities
enjoyed the
to choose
game more, frankly.
Anyways,
Yeah. It's good.
that is it
Good
for
to see.
this video. Real quick, I suppose, we have, what, a week and a half left? Nope, 5 days.
5
So
days.
it was actually more than 2 weeks I
Oof.
waited for this. But hey, it's okay. I wasn't in a huge rush because I had other stuff I was working on and liked my teams. There is this character sitting here, but how could Doug get enough pulls in time?
Couldn't possibly, unless someone were to look through the history and see my my ID and suddenly just pour in a whole bunch of wishes on my way.
Yeah, because the problem is you're not even going to...
Don't do that.
You're
That's a
going
lot
to
of
be
waste.
gone a day or two of this period because we're going on a trip together. So...
Right.
So the timing is kind of bad. It is funny that, she finally gets her own banner, and they do it right after one of the events where she first finally got to show up for the first time in like 2 years, and then a couple months later, like, oh, she's back, and people are like, but I haven't recovered yet.
Oh man. Well, just to be clear, wasn't she on one of those like banners when she wasn't supposed to be, but they put her on it anyway because she hadn't run already? Am I confused?
That was when they like
her,
changed the
right?
rules, and there was like
Mhm.
multiple characters, and she came
Yeah.
back. That's when Doug pulled for her, yeah. But
Yeah. So yeah, they changed the rules to put her on the banner of characters that, oh well, we just can't fit them on a banner, so blah blah blah. And now they're gonna just give her own banner. What is happening?
yeah,
I don't understand.
it is very confusing, and I don't blame you for asking questions, and I have no answers for you. So why is this level 2?
That's a great question.
What? I don't...
Maybe it needs
it a-
to be.
Passive talent. One of her things is +1
haven't
skill. What's her mutual weapon mentorship? What's the bottom one? Yeah.
So it's increasing all of them. Right. That's the incentive, by the way, for... Yeah, good call. I forgot. I
Gotcha.
thought this was one of these, and I had to unlock it. I forgot that was just the passive one. So this is the incentive for going with that party construction. Now, +1 elemental skill. It's not like, whoa! But there is a slight bonus if you want to go that route, but it's why she's not as handcuffed as Escoffier was. Escoffier gets a 55% damage bonus for having the 4 characters of Cryo or Hydro compared to 15% with 3. This is, nice, but by no means game-breaking. All right, that's it for now. We'll still have more stuff coming up. I still have a guaranteed 50-50 in both ZZZ, and I have almost 300 pulls in Star Rail. Star Rail will be coming up soon because Hysolins and also the Fate stuff is interesting. That whole patch just dropped. So we'll probably have a video in the somewhat near future, but for now, that's it for Wailing. You two get to say your parting words.
Your parting words.
Good.
Look out for my roar.
Okay. See you next time.
So long, everyone.